Hello everybody. I'm going to make this quick video is a crash course on basic acting techniques, not like I'm a professional or anything, but just things I've picked up along the way. I went to acting class eons ago, back when I was 19 or something, so I'm just going to pass these things on to you. Please just take a minute to check this out, get some ideas, mainly just so everyone's kind of ready to go and we can just kind of get right into it when everybody shows up on the appointed weekend, on the scheduled weekend. So yeah, just have these things in mind, and you'll be ready, and we can, get it done and get to the fun part, which is, eating junk food and watching crappy movies and just, once again, I'm looking forward to hanging out with y'all again soon. So I want to get the work part, even though I think it's going to be fun doing this. I'd like to just kind of get what we got to get done over with soon. So anyway, here's just a crash course in the basic things I learned as far as when you're acting. First and foremost, when I say everyone get into character, you just get into your mode. Start just thinking as your character would think. Just basic role playing. Just as if you were putting on a haunted house presentation and you were, this creepy character. It's the same basic principles. So just kind of get into it, and it's a geeky thing to do, but that's kind of what it's all about. So go with it. Once again, can't take yourself too seriously doing stuff like this. Yeah. So get into character when the director says get into character, and stay in character until you hear cut. The directors, I will be watching. As you act, we're going to be doing improvisational acting, and I'm going to be feeding you lines. What I'm going to do is keep the camera running, I think, for extended cuts and reposition. I will chop it down later. In other words, I'm gonna keep the thing rolling, and and I will be directing you in between without stopping the camera. And later on, I'm going to be segmenting, chopping down the footage to the actual scenes. I'll get into that later. I'm sorry, I don't want to get too off track. When we're doing a scene, I'll feed you the lines, and we're going to be ad-libbing a little bit. In other words, no one's expected to memorize every sentence to the detail. I'm going to give you the sentences. You get the basic idea, and you just kind of go with it. Have a conversation with your other character. There's a couple scenes where some characters will be talking on a phone. If I think something's not working, I will say cut. Otherwise, unless I say cut, that means it's okay. If you're stumbling on a word, if you're interrupting or speaking too soon to the other character, this is fine. That's just natural. If Unless I think it looks bad, just keep going. There will be obvious blunders if there's just something, obviously if there's a big screw up, and we got to stop. But my point is, keep going with the scene until I say it's no good. It's because it's more aggravating if if people are stopping themselves every 3 seconds. It's not supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to deliver lines perfectly, word for word. That looks clunky. It looks weak. You gotta just have a natural flow. Have the idea, and anyway. So I realize I'm not the best instructor for this. I'm trying to convey the message, though. I hope you're getting it. Okay, so stay in character. Don't stop unless I say stop, and we'll get it done quick. I promise. If we can stick to these things. And this is probably the number one thing is don't look at the camera. I keep on saying that's. I always say don't. You see when an actor in some B horror film looks at the camera, and every time I see it, I know the director's slapping his forehead. It happens. It does. You'll be tempted to, but the thing to remember is, as soon as you look at the camera, you've kind of ruined the shot, and so to avoid having to redo a shot, this is going to be a very low stress app, and no one's expected to be real professional or anything. These are just things to take into mind. But yeah, don't look at the camera. Train your mind to just, when you're looking, if your character has to walk past the camera, look in the basic, in a direction where the camera's, just off to the side. You might be tempted to glance at it. Just don't do that. Just train your mind to think that the dude holding the camera is not there at all. You know, and one tip that I find helps me is to focus on something beside. Look at the wall. Train yourself to look at anything but the camera. Once you glance over in that direction, when you're tempted to look at the lens, just keep going and look at something beyond it. So yeah, that's it. Get into character, stay in a character, stay loose. Take your lines as the cameras are going to be rolling. I'm going to give you the lines. I'm going to tell you where to be, what motions to make, and you just do them. And any blunders that happen, unless it's too obvious, just keep on going. And I'll say stop. Let's do that again if it doesn't look too good. All right, that's it. All right, bye. Hey everybody, this is the reading of the script for Mossy Rock. I'm gonna try and act it out, but I gotta kind of keep it quiet. It's like 12:38, and anyway, I want to go to bed eventually, but I'm gonna just start this. If I get too tired, I'm gonna stop. There were a couple notes I wanted to point out, a couple things I can just probably go over in emails. Gonna be time in this too to get a general feel for how long things are gonna run. It's obviously not gonna, there's gonna be a lot of room for adding other things and whatnot. Once again, the script is only referential material for that you can print it out. You can watch this reading. You can just watch the reading for a general feel. Don't feel like you gotta watch the whole thing. But if you want to see how your characters, how I kind of envision you portraying them in my mind, go for it. Yeah, you can print the script out if you want to just kind of go over it, read it, and get an idea. But you're not going to have to commit really anything to memory. Just bring yourselves, and I don't know, we're still going to have fun with it, because that's really all you can do when you're not getting paid for something. But more than anything, I'm just looking forward to getting to see all my good friends. So, okay, let's begin. Mossy Rock. Urban scenery is seen through the window of a moving vehicle, plays by in slow motion as a phone conversation dialogue between Jarrell and Lincoln overlays footage. Parentheses. Anybody who can provide about 5-second clips of cityscape passing through a moving car window, please let me know. And note not to have any commercial names, signs caught in selected clips, because I can't use them. Gerald. Hello? Lincoln. Gerald, you finally picked up, man. I thought you were dead. Gerald. Not yet. What's up, Link? Lincoln. What's up is I went by your apartment, and you don't live there anymore. Do you want the royalty checks for your book, or should I just keep them? Gerald. Oh, sorry about that. I moved. Lincoln. Moved? Moved where? Gerald. I was just looking online for information on the town where my parents grew up, and right there is an ad that some lady's subleasing her basement apartment for crazy cheap. I figured the royalty checks from the book would cover my rent for a while there, and I'd have more time to write the next book by quitting that crappy job. It's a gamble, but I've been here about a week, and so far so good. Lincoln. Seriously? Well, I guess that makes sense. You've got to get the new one written while the readers are hot for it. How far have you come? Gerald. A page or two, I don't know. Lincoln, growing exasperated. It's a follow-up to Riders of the Storm, right? Gerald, no way. I'm going back to the real style, and I'm going to use my real name this time instead of my pen name. Lincoln, what? Dude, I told you go that route because that's what would get you sold. You can't just flip around and go back to the old style. It'll throw the readers off, and you'll lose them. Hell, I can't even promise you'll get the next one sold if it's not a follow-up. That's what the publisher is asking for. I can send you the email they wrote me. It will change your mind. Gerald, frustrated. Lincoln, I can't keep writing what's not coming from my heart. People will find out it's fake. Lincoln, forget that noble stuff. Do you want to keep paying your rent by writing, or do you want to start looking around for your new place for another factory job? Whether it's true to your heart or not, it's what I got sold because that's what readers want. You can do your real stuff under your real name after you've made enough bank. Now's not the time to ruin your streak. Gerald. Lincoln, the atmosphere here is conducive to something not only real and true, but something that will sell. They won't see it coming, but when it hits them, they'll be in love with my work on a whole new level. Lincoln. I hear you, but skip that part for now. We need a follow-up to Riders now. Don't piss this away, man. Gerald, exasperated. Lincoln, I physically can't even make my fingers type anymore. That fan service fiction, do you get me? It's impossible. The next one, Lincoln, cutting him off. Okay, let's forget that for now. Where are you? Gerald, it's a little hick town in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, called Mossy Rock. Lincoln, great, gotcha, but I need your address if you want this check, man. Gerald, oh sure, it's 17 Rural Oaks. Fades out. Credits roll. About 30 seconds right there. Credits. Or the opening introduction, whatever. Fade in from black to reveal skeleton, made vaguely by lighting and effects to reduce its utter cheesiness. A skeleton. It's hatched from the decomposition of the long dead. They used me as a key to the forbidden door that let it leak in. It's going to use you like it used me. It's going to tell you what to think, what to feel, what to write. Fades out on the word right. Close up on Gerald's face as his eyes widen, open, as if jolted out of sleep. Downshot as he groggily pulls himself up from bed, rubbing his eyes and head, maybe groaning a bit. Shot from behind a box, near his feet, as he turns his head to regard the box like it's a dirty secret. He stands up, goes to the box, and removes his book, Riders of the Storm, from its contents. Over-shoulder shot as he looks at the cover, close-up of his face, as he rolls his eyes, almost disgustedly. He plops the book back down back in the box, then takes up his laptop and flips it open and opens a Word file. Close-up on the title, Unwanted Heroes, by Gerald Muro. 2 sentences have been written. He stares at them thoughtfully, confused and troubled. He highlights the entire text and deletes, then starts out the new title, Riders of the Storm, Book 2, by Gerald Claiborne. He stares at this, confused even more. He's at a crossroads and he doesn't know which direction to go. He shakes his head, tight-lipped, as he closes the document and powers off the laptop, setting it aside. He stands up, stretches, looks out the window to the gnarled forest beyond. Gerald, screw it, I'm going on a walk. A la Argento's style of having music that doesn't totally fit and makes a scene awkward but unique, a death metal song will play as we see a shot of Gerald from inside going to the door and taking the knob. A shot from the woods is the back door at the back door as he steps out into the cold. A shot from behind as he makes toward the forest wall. A shot from overhead as he steps into the forest. A shot from his side as he makes his way deeper. A shot from in front of him as he steps closer to the camera, coming to a halt. Squints his eyes to regard what he sees before him. My cat just walked in. Hold on, I gotta close the door. Out of my way, numbnuts. Always does that. Where was I? Stares at this confused. A shot from in front of him as he steps closer to the camera, comes to a halt, squints his eyes to regard what he sees before him. A shot from over his shoulder as he beholds an ominous structure or trail or opening in the forest, depending on what is convenient. A shot of his face as an expression of unsettled angst etches the lines on his face, and he takes a step back. Something is not right with the place, something he can't describe. He starts back toward the house, picking up his pace as if he fears something unseen pursues him. The camera follows him inside as he shakes off his chills, both literally and figuratively. Slight shake on the camera to communicate his distress as he hurriedly goes back into his room like a pocket of safety in a strange wilderness. Gerald, this place. He says it with bewildered reverie, maybe shaking his head at his confusion. Shot from within the room as he turns the corner and is shocked by what he sees. Gerald. Lincoln? What the heck? Smiling, Lincoln rises from where he's been sitting on Gerald's bed, arms outspreading, like, what can you do? Lincoln. How's it going, maestro? Gerald. What are you doing here? Lincoln pulls an envelope from his pocket, unfolds it smugly, and hands it to Gerald, saying, Did you want this royalty check or not? Gerald eyes Lincoln dubiously as he rips open the envelope and removes a check. His eyes roll down to regard the check, then widen. Gerald, wow, is this for real? Lincoln, pointing at Gerald and then to the laptop as he speaks. It's for real, and you're going to see a lot more of that if you do as I say and get on the second Riders of the Storm installment. Gerald, folding up the check and pocketing it. Well, yeah, but I thought you were going to mail this to me. You drove all the way from Richmond? Lincoln. It's not that bad of a drive, and I wouldn't want to risk it getting lost in the mail. Gerald eyes him, knowing there's more to it than just that. Lincoln realizes this and has to confess, rubbing the bridge of his nose as his head lowers in shame. I need a place to stay for a while, man. I talked to that Chinese lady you're renting from, and I got here when I got here. She said it was fine as long as I kept the noise down and kept out of the storage space. Gerald, showing concern. What happened? Lincoln. Man, when I got my 10% of the last earnings, I just kind of chomped at the bit, you know? I felt so good, I cussed out my boss and walked out and proceeded to party for about 3 or 4 days straight. I woke up in some fat lady's bed with a hangover from hell. First thing I saw was these massively hairy arms, and it tipped me over. I managed to find a toilet just before I started puking my guts out. By then, I'd burned up nearly all of my earnings from the book, and without an income from my job and with hardly anything left, I had to cancel my lease. Gerald. Wow. Sorry to hear about that, but Lincoln. Man, I got so low I even called up my parents in Florida and asked if I could come stay with them until I got back on my feet. They said there was no room for me. I called them the worst parents in the history of humankind and hung up on them. My bridges are all burned except for this one. Please, man, I'm begging you. Gerald, tight-lipped, nodding with sympathetic understanding. Okay, Lincoln, I understand. There's a futon in the living room down there. You can sleep there. Down here, you can sleep there. Lincoln, how far are we? Man, we are not very far. This might be like the whole movie. Lincoln, but you understand why I need to make this work. Need to make sure this works. This is it for me, man. If I don't make it as your agent, I'm as good as dead. There's nothing left for me after this. You'll see. This is going to be perfect. I can help keep you motivated while you write the next hit. As long as I can keep getting you sold, I can survive. Maybe crawl out of this mess of a life I'm in. Gerald. Sure, buddy. Sure. Lincoln, snapping out of his fugue in a manner that suggests his manipulative nature. Great. Can you help me get my things? They head out of the room, and stopping at the bottom of the stairway, Lincoln. Before that, where's your toilet? I've been holding this for like 3 hours. Lincoln opens the door that leads to the storage area. A voice hollers down from the top of the stairs. Stay out of the storage room! Lincoln stills his hand and looks up in shocked bewilderment at the scowling Chinese woman as she descends the stairs. She comes to stand before the two of them, her eyes shifting from one to the other and back again. I don't care what kind of another 48 hours kind of stuff you two are up to down here, but I made one simple request that you stay out of storage. Is that hard to understand? Can I trust you to keep your noses out of my things? Lincoln. I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought it was the bathroom. Do you mean you intended to go to the bathroom in my storage room? Lincoln, bewildered by the absurdity. What? Of course not. Once I realize a room doesn't have a toilet, I'm not going to still go to the bathroom there. Janet fixes him with a cold stare, as if trying to determine whether or not he speaks the truth. Alright, I gotta close the door again. There you are. Jerk cat. You're messing me up. I'm gonna wake people up. Determine whether or not he speaks the truth. Janet. Okay, I'll believe you. This time. But if I find any poop or pee in my storage room, I will make it so you can't go to the bathroom ever again. With this, she turns and starts up the stairs. Gerald and Lincoln watch after her, shaken and confused. Gerald. Want to go get your stuff now? Lincoln, staying him with his arm. Let's just give it a minute. 5 seconds of scenery shots from the town suggest passage of time. Gerald and Lincoln carry belongings inside, awkwardly passing Janet, where she works in the kitchen. Janet. I'm sorry for being so short-tempered earlier, but I must protect my privacy. Gerald, with humility and good nature. Don't mention it. Lincoln, with hardly concealed bitterness. No problem. Janet, my friends come out on the weekends for hobby time. You are welcome to meet them, but just don't talk about going to the bathroom in front of them, okay? Both look bewildered, yet more by the woman's rampant strangeness. My cat set my allergies off. Sure. Gerald, sure, don't mention it. They start down the stairs, shot from behind their backs. Lincoln. Well, I guess besides living in the same house as a crazy woman, it's a pretty sweet deal. Pretty nice down here. Didn't you say your parents are from this town? Gerald. Well, yes, but they're from the old town. I've only ever seen it in pictures. The whole neighborhood is part of a whole new development since some industries set up and opened up new jobs in the area. Lincoln, have you visited the old town? Gerald, man, I've tried to. It's so rural, you have to walk through the forest or on this trail to get there. I've checked it out checked it out in satellite image online. And it's not as far at all, but today was the third time I've tried to walk there, and every time, as soon as I'm almost there, I get nauseous. It's like this sick feeling in my gut. My head starts to hurt and I just have to head back. Weird, huh? Lincoln, that's weird, all right. I like it. Put it in the new book. Gerald, you think so? Man, I've been having some crazy dreams too. Lincoln, dang, this place really is perfect for your inspiration. Gerald, and maybe it's my sixth sense warning me about a KKK rally going on in the sticks there. Lincoln, well, they're not too hard to pick out, what with the pointy white hats and all. Gerald, okay, man, you gotta come clean. Lincoln, about the fat girl's hairy arms? Gerald, no, this book you made happen. I saw my books in a store the other day. I didn't know the publisher got that kind of distribution. I might not be able to buy a yacht with that check, but it's nice to know I'll be covered for food or shelter for the next year at least without having to find work in another factory. How'd you make this happen? Lincoln, smiling smugly. It wasn't that hard. I guess you haven't seen the video review online? Gerald, there's a video review? Lincoln, don't tell me you don't do online searches for feedback on your own book. Gerald, shaking his head. No way. Being an artist and putting it out there, it's like opening a window to let the whole world see your bare naked soul. It comes with the territory, but it's not an easy thing to stomach, you know? I'm terrified of seeing feedback on my work. But do you mean there's a good review going around? Lincoln, is your laptop linked to the net? Gerald, yeah? Lincoln, fire it up. We cut to a close-up of the laptop screen as Lincoln, in his false online persona, carries on with a ludicrous review of Riders of the Storm. Gerald at first doesn't recognize him, as he's clad in over-the-top heavy metal threads, is unshaven and wearing sunglasses, carrying on and spewing insane jargon over the book. This book is so brutal and sick, it'll make you vomit blood! The camera pans to reveal Gerald's bewildered face, staring almost disgustedly at the screen. Lincoln is behind him, watching with apparent elation. Gerald, what in the name of prom am I watching? Lincoln, you're watching the review that got 30,000 plus hits and helped put Jarrell Claiborne and his opus on the map. Gerald, but this lunatic hasn't said one word about the book. He obviously hasn't read it. He's just going on and on about how much it makes him want to vomit blood. Lincoln, but it worked, didn't it? Gerald, turning to face his friend with hopeless, despairing eyes. Are you telling me that this idiocy got my book into stores? Lincoln, indicating the screen with a nod of his head. Look closer. Gerald peers back at the screen as the online persona carries on, and we see realization wash over his face. Gerald, that's you, isn't it? Lincoln, that's right. I'm known to tens of thousands as Redfield Flesh Ripper. Nobody has a clue it's me, but I've gotten books, CDs, and indie films the recognition they do or don't deserve for a pretty fair price. I've got the followers. I tell that to the publisher, record label, whatever, and tell them for a price I'll get their latest release into the heads of my viewers. Gerald, is every review like this? Lincoln, more or less. I don't really have to know the work. I just have to carry on about how sick and rad and it is long enough to get it embedded in people's minds, and I've earned my fee. Gerald, turning again to face Lincoln, appalled. This is how you got me to sell Riders of the Storm? Lincoln, becoming sheepishly defensive. Hey man, don't freak out. I read the book. It's what I wanted you to write, and it's great. The publisher knows this, and the reviews on Amazon aren't paid for. Those are all real. Part of the charade is just smokes and mirrors, but in the end, you made a sweet book, and thanks to me, have seen more serious sales. It may not be how you envisioned it, but it's going to change your life, and if you don't ride the wave with me, you'll regret it later, and you have to go back to the factory and ask for your job, and when you have to go back to the factory and ask for your job back. Gerald, hey, if you do so well with this ridiculous review series, why are you telling me you're broke? Lincoln, shaking his head. It's not so simple. I spend money faster than I make it. I can get myself under control, get my head together. The thing is, without my job, I don't have a fallback, and my bank account is down to chump change until I sell a few more articles. But more than that, I realize I've got a gold mine in your writing. This is something I can believe in, unlike so much of that other stuff. I could have just looked for a new job to keep me sustained in Richmond, but then you told me you'd moved out here, and something in my gut said I needed to come out here myself. See what's what, and fuel the fire. This is real, man. You've got to take this journey with me. I need it. You need it too. You're just a passionate artist, so it's hard for you to get your head around that. Gerald returns his focus, resigned, accepting to the character on the laptop screen. He closes with, "Next week, I'm going to talk about a big book so sick and brutal, it'll make you vomit blood. Corrales Coast is pure sickening blood vomit. Ugh." Scenery shots of evening indicating the end of the day, exterior of the house. Gerald through his bedroom window, typing away. We move inside, Gerald busily typing in the foreground as Lincoln steps into the open doorway and steps into the open doorway in the background. Lincoln, clickety clack, yo. I've heard nothing but furious typing for the past couple hours. How's it coming? Gerald, swimmingly. I'm in the zone. You better make yourself scarce for now. Sorry. Lincoln, apparently slipping into his seedier side. Yeah, I hear you. I also heard footsteps from upstairs. Sounds like that crazy lady's friends have arrived. What kind of freaky deakies do you think she hangs out with? Gerald, still focused on typing, undaunted. Why don't you go up there and find out? Lincoln, not a bad idea. Hey man, I'm dry as a bone. You have anything to drink around here? Gerald, you know I don't drink. Still? Pardon me. Lincoln, still? Phooey, maybe I can scrounge something up. I gotta celebrate the new life. Gerald, happy hunting. Camera follows Lincoln from behind as he makes his way into the kitchen and starts to inspect the cabinets, muttering, "Bear, bear, bear," as nothing is turned up. Shot from within the cabinet, behind a strangely labeled bottle of mysterious clear liquid. As the cabinet is opened and Lincoln regards the mysterious bottle. Curious, he removes the bottle. A shot of Lincoln inspecting the bottle, a little hesitant, but with reckless, overpowering curiosity. He twists off the cap and takes a sip. His face twisting up at the bitterness before the warmth overtakes him, and he glows, enticed. Then takes another good pull. Then another. Lincoln, talking to the bottle with a satisfied smile and nod. All right, got some liquid courage. Guess I'll go mingle. Shot of Lincoln heading up the stairs. He opens and steps out through the door to discover two women sitting on the couch, chatting with Janet, having a vibrant conversation about astral projection. Okay, here I'm going to just give you guys something to talk about, either astral projection or if you think it's something better that you can just like talk about it in the manner of just women having coffee talk. Julie, turning to regard Lincoln. Oh, hello. Lincoln, flustered. Oh, hi. I'm Lincoln, or Link, you can call me. Just moved in today. Julie, face twisting weirdly, as if to ask, why are you talking to us? Oh, that's nice. I'm Julie, and this is my sister, Linda. Lincoln, nice to meet y'all. Linda, so what brought you to Mossy Rock? Lincoln, my client moved here. He's just garnered some fame as a novelist, so I thought I should be where he is. Besides that, I found out that my girlfriend, pulls a sad, dismal face, was having an affair with this Spanish guy. So I just had to get away, try to start over. Linda, you work with a novelist? What's his name? Lincoln, his name's Gerald Muro, but he publishes under the name Gerald Claiborne. Linda, oh my gosh, Riders of the Storm. I just read that one. Lincoln, seriously? Linda, could I meet him? Lincoln, nodding in the direction of the basement door. Yeah, sure. Walking down the stairs, Linda is carrying on about how she discovered Gerald's book. Linda, my friend told me he was from Virginia and that his book made all those fruity vampire books smell like dog crap, so I had to check it out. I love reading about effeminate vampires that suck out women's blood. Lincoln, sure. You know, I was the one who told him he should write that one. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me. Shot with Gerald in the foreground, now looking stumped, no longer writing as Lincoln and Linda appear in the doorway. Lincoln, how's it going? Gerald, I was on a roll, but I just got to a part where I have to decide whether my protagonist stabs his friend in the back or noticing Linda. Oh, hello? Gerald stands up to meet her. Linda. So you're the great Gerald Claiborne. Gerald. Well, yeah, that's my pen name, but how did you... Linda. I just finished your book a week ago. I can't believe you're actually living on my street now. Gerald. Seriously? You read it? Linda. Of course. Are you working on another now? Gerald. Well, I was, but I'm kind of stuck. I guess I need a break. Linda. Well, when the girls and I are done with our meeting, I was going to do some yoga up there. If you want to join me, you might shake the gears back into function, you know? Gerald, chuckling. Well, I could consider it. Linda. Oh, do. It would be awesome to channel cosmic yogurt powers with you. I'll be right upstairs, okay? Gerald. Yeah, sure, if I'm not too busy, I guess. Linda. Sounds good. Linda turns and takes her leave, leaving the two of them, walking past Lincoln as if he doesn't exist. When she's safely out of earshot, Lincoln says, let me make sure this is recorded. Damn, we're at 24. Almost at 25 minutes. This is great. Get all this done. We're definitely going to get at least 2 episodes done after my editing and the extra parts, so it won't take too long to get your parts done. Sounds good. Linda turns to take her leave, leaving the two of them walking past Lincoln as if he doesn't exist. When she's safely out of earshot, Lincoln says, man, that's garbage. Authors get all the attention and the agents get the shaft. Like they have nothing to do with it because they're behind the scenes. Total garbage. Gerald. That was a little weird. I think I'll skip the yoga date there. Gonna try to get back to it. Lincoln. Suit yourself. Lincoln steps back out to the living room as Julie descends the stairs. Lincoln. What's up? Julie. I just have some work to do. That's supposed to be Janet. No, it's Julie. I just have some work to do in the storage. Please keep the noise down. Lincoln. What noise? Julie. Try not to make any bodily noises or think too hard about anything. Lincoln. What? Julie makes a nasty face at him, leaving him bewildered as she slips into the dark storage room, closing the door behind her. Lincoln turns around so he's facing the camera as he mutters incoherently at the strangeness he's just witnessed. We find Julie walking through the clutter to another door where she steps inside. Typo. Kneels by the floor, lights some candles that encircle a strange symbol, swathed in black, perhaps on a parchment, if not the floor itself. She pulls a jar of black-red sludge, and red sludge, and removes a handful, beginning to etch a new symbol over the former one. A close-up of her face, deeply focused, lazy-eyed, as if drugged. Slow zoom to her working hands as the sludge expands. In the last instant, a horrid, black, demonic face rises from its center, done with animation. Skip back to Lincoln, who is removing the bottle of strange liquor yet again, taking several long, gluttonous pulls on the drink before exhaling nastily and returning the bottle. He stopped before closing the cabinet, holding the bottle closer to his face, examining it. Apparently, the level of the liquid has returned. Huh? I thought I drank more than that. Did it refill? He returns the bottle, shot of him stepping out of the kitchen. The camera wobbles slightly to stress his inebriation. He looks drunk and happy. Visibly, he has an idea and makes for the stairs. A shot from the TV's perspective as Linda takes out a yoga DVD, inserts it into the player. Lincoln steps out from the door and into the background. A shot of his face as he drunkenly beholds Linda, his face full of stupid, drunk confidence. He strides up behind her as the DVD begins to play Iron Booty Sweat Yoga. Iron Booty Sweat Yoga! The yoga instructor begins with downward facing dog. Lincoln. Yoga time, huh? Linda. Visibly irritated by his presence, she continues. Yep. Lincoln. I could use some yoga myself. I haven't gotten a chance to do yoga in a while. Linda. Whatever you say. From here, the shot is from the TV's perspective as Lincoln drunkenly mimics the yoga positions behind Linda. Her expression shifts as he speaks, becoming increasingly irritated, creeped out, and annoyed. Lincoln. I'm really involved in the martial arts. in the martial arts, but every now and then I gotta slow it down a bit and get my chakras all lined up with some yoga, you know. Linda, me too. Lincoln, my instructor tells me I'm a natural. I even thought about teaching a yoga class myself once. Linda, why didn't you? Lincoln, oh, you know, the agent job is just really demanding. I can't really make room for little things like yoga. Linda, I understand. I run a lot. Makes my muscles really sore. Lincoln, increasingly creepy. Is that a fact? Linda, yep, my shoulders have been killing me all week. I'm hoping this will ease the tension. Lincoln, shoulders, huh? I could probably help you with that. He stops the current stretch, reaches his hands for his shoulders. You know, I'm a licensed masseuse. I learned as soon as his hands grip Linda's shoulders, her face becomes a mask of sheer disgust as she whirls on Lincoln, pushing him to the floor and planting an elbow against his neck. A shot from Lincoln's perspective at an enraged Linda glaring murderously down on him. She reaches off camera, taking hold of a stuffed tiger, smashing it down to his face. The camera. Downward shot. Now a shot from over Linda's shoulder as she smothers Lincoln with the stuffed tiger, grunting that he should have never placed his hands on her. A close-up of her enraged face. Linda growling, "You miserable puke!" Fade to black. The skeleton emerges from the darkness. Skeleton, "You silly jackass. You will never leave this place." Fades to darkness. The demonic face of Sludge arises, hissing, crossfades to Gerald as he types out the final sentence of his session, then sits back, satisfied, a close-up of his face as he reads on screen. Gerald, wow, over 5,000 words in one sitting. Not bad at all. Oh man, it's almost midnight. I better call it a night. Gerald is perturbed by the sudden sound of a moan coming from the living room. He steps out to find Linda and Julie laying Lincoln out on the futon. Gerald, what the heck? What happened to him? Julie, your friend just had a little too much to drink. Linda, want to come up and watch a movie with us? Gerald, oh, thanks, but I better call it a night. It's been a long day. Maybe tomorrow. Linda, visibly disappointed yet trying to play it off. Oh, that's fine. Good night. The ladies excuse themselves up the stairs. Gerald watches after them, then shifts his gaze to his slumbering, snoring friend. A shot of Lincoln sprawled out on the futon as Gerald steps closer. Gerald, good night, you moron. Gerald steps off camera. Zoom in on Lincoln's face. Crossfade to skeleton. Skeleton, talking about apples. Fade to black. Fade in from black. Lincoln still slumbers. And suddenly his eyes... Sorry, fixing a typo. His eyes blink open. He sits up in bed, holding his head. He is in a thick mental fog. Lincoln, what the heck? What happened? Alright, we're going to stop there for tonight, folks. This went on a half hour. If you watch the entire thing, thank you. That just goes to show, that is, how far are we? 2/3. 2/3 clocking at roughly a half hour. Get this whole thing done. We might even, yeah, that's gonna work out just fine. At least two episodes, one weekend. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing y'all. I'll be talking to you soon. We got to zero in on a weekend. We can't do Teresa's birthday weekend. If MLK's birthday weekend of the 19th of January works out, please let me know. Bye. Hello, friends. I hope you've all had a wonderful holiday and a great New Year's Eve, and Happy New Year, happy 2015 to y'all. Anyway, I'm real excited to see y'all and to have y'all over and get to finally catch up. Before this is gonna be, I'm gonna read the remainder of the script, and this is largely an experiment for me to get a basic idea of how long the runtime is. So I'm gonna take this with the add on the half hour of the previous reading. I'm picking up from where I left off. I'm gonna have a rough estimate. If it runs short of the goal 88 minutes that I want to do in the long run, I'm gonna produce other material. That's gonna be probably either, if I can't do it by myself, probably between me and Joral and Micah. Anyway, the thing is, I'm gonna do everything in my power to expedite the filming and make it count. And we're gonna try and bag everyone's material in the weekend get together. Saturday is going to be the big day, I think, that I'm counting on everybody to be here, at least for that full day. Show up as early as you want, stay as late as you want for the weekend. We'll get everything we can done. But for you guys coming out that have a longer commute, I'm gonna try and wrap all your material. So this is the only weekend filming for y'all. And Micah and Jarrell, there will more than likely be a follow-up weekend on the next weekend that we're all available to get together again to film the remaining material. We might get it all done. I don't know. All the same, I'm gonna try and I got it all set up. We're gonna film it sequentially. The scenes you're in are numbered next to your names in the credits of the script. So just go over it, look it over, be prepared, and it'll be fun. And we'll get it wrapped as soon as we can, and then just get to the fun part of us getting together and catch up for some lost time, hopefully. Anyway, okay, that went on for 2 minutes. Sorry about that. I'm gonna get to the script reading. Okay, we picked up. Something clatters to the floor from his rumpled blanket. Looking down, he sees that it's a television remote. He picks it up, regards it, then turns on the TV. The Lunchtime Larry show is on. Lunchtime Larry is talking about cats. Oh, what a coincidence. Then beginning to scream, he jabbers on about strange things. A shot of Lincoln stupidly amused, starting to laugh, forgetting his confusion. Eventually, Lunchtime Larry turns to look at Lincoln through the screen. I kind of got this idea from the Jigsaw puppet. More tongue-in-cheek, obviously, with this one. Lunchtime Larry. Lincoln, you are destined to be the next great white rapper. Your parents were right. You're a worthless loser, destined to fail. But if you do this for me, I promise you will finally win at something and finally have something to contribute to society. Tomorrow, you must begin to write and record rap music. This I command. Close up on Lincoln's astonished face. What? What the? Lunchtime Larry. Now, sleep. Fade to black as Lunchtime Larry's laughter echoes and fades. Silent shot. Suddenly, sudden sobriety and calm of morning time. Exterior scenery. The night has passed. Close-up shot of Gerald's face, sleeping in the moment that a knocking at his bedroom door has him blink his eyes open, confused, brows furrowing as it sinks in that it's Lincoln's muffled voice coming through the door, possibly a la Sheldon knocking on Penny's door. Knock, 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 Penny, knock, 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 Penny, knock, 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 Penny. You get the idea. Gerald goes to the door and opens it to find a disheveled but eager Lincoln. Gerald, what is it? Lincoln, this place is mighty weird, man. I had a lot of dreams last night. How'd you do? Gerald, ah, man, I had this crazy dream about first contact with Lincoln. That's crazy. Hey, didn't you say you have some music editing software on your laptop? Gerald, what? Oh, yeah, I have some of that stuff. That programs beats in a decent mixing program. Lincoln, great. Hey man, can I borrow it a little, or are you going to be writing? Gerald, no, it's fine. Turns to retrieve his laptop and hands it to Lincoln. I really burned it last night. I think I need to let my brain take it easy until this afternoon. Lincoln, eagerly accepting the laptop. I hear you, man. I hear you. Thanks. You have some visitors that want to see you. Can I let them in? Gerald, visitors? How many people know I'm Lincoln? Great! To the guest. Hey guys, you can go on in. In step Michael Henenlotter in Furban. Michael looks exuberant to be meeting a published author. Under his arm, he has a collection of his works in progress. Furban seems drugged, unimpressed, slack in the face, similar to Napoleon Dynamite. Michael, extending his hand for a shake. Hey there, Michael Henenlotter. Oh man, I'm so thrilled to meet an actual author. I just love your book. Gerald, amazed. You've read my book? Michael, about half of it. Linda told me it was good. I was going to buy my own copy, but I didn't want to spend money on it, so I had to wait for her to finish it so I could borrow it. Gerald, you're friends with that Linda lady? Michael, no, my mom and her do yoga together, and they go to the same worship service, holding up his work in progress. His works, plural, in progress. Oh hey, I brought some of my work so you can check it out. Gerald, dang, I'm still in my pajamas, and I haven't had my morning coffee. That's it, Michael. That's okay. Pajamas are fine. And your coffee can wait. Gerald, mildly annoyed. Sure. Okay. Why don't we just go out to the living room and I'll take a look. They step out into the living room and take a seat on the futon, with Furbin silently shadowing them, standing in the background hall. Unnoticed as Michael spreads his work over his lap and begins to. I gotta get bigger. There we go. Bigger font. I like that. Unnoticed as Michael spreads his work over his lap and begins to explain it. Gerald is tired and not up for this, but is somewhat interested and humors him, nodding as he goes on. Michael. Okay, so this is my Tario character. He's my main focus, you know, creatively. He's kind of like a rider of the storm. He's kind of like a rider of the storm, but in his own sort of way, you know? And, oh, and this is Mr. Creepy. Man, my friends love Mr. Creepy. And this is Rednecks in Space. It's about these rednecks, right, that are in space. Mike, I just want to point out to you, sir, I'm just name-dropping some of your works here, and, obviously making your guy kind of a silly, funny guy, and the context here is that you create under a pen name. So I'm name dropping, I'm product plugging, whatever you want to call it, your awesome work, and in a comical context, obviously not making fun. I'm sure you get it. So anyway, so you know, as Michael carries on, Furbin slips out of sight silently back into Gerald's bedroom. I keep wanting to say Gerald. Eventually noticing that Furbin has gone, and that without passing by them, he only could have gone into one of the back rooms. Gerald, perturbed, perks up. Cat has irritated. Gerald, hey, where'd that guy you were with go? Michael, oh, Furbin? Oh, what, Furbin? Oh, he probably went back into your room to do a dance of enchantment. Gerald, what? Gerald, confused and annoyed, stands and heads wearily back into the hall, shot with Furbin dancing in the foreground. As Gerald appears in the doorway, Furbin is dancing about as though at a club, carrying on with the same slack expression, as if in a daze while he dances. Gerald fumes, openly irritated as he steps into the room. Gerald, what the hell are you doing? Furbin, I'm dancing. Don't try to stop me. Gerald, try to stop you? This is my room. Get right the hell out or I'm gonna throw you out. Michael, putting a hand on Gerald's shoulder. Hey man, just don't let it bother you. It won't hurt anything. You better just let him do it. It rarely takes him more than a few minutes. Gerald throws up his hands, looking at the ceiling in a haze of confusion before resigning to exit his room and leave Furbin to his dancing. He and Michael step back out into the living room. Michael, he doesn't mean to invade your space. It's a dance he does to conjure protective energies. I can't be sure if your room needs it, but if it happens that dark forces are massing in your room, well, it never hurts to have some extra insurance. Gerald, dark forces? What are you even talking about? Are you messing with me? Look, it's early in the morning. Michael, do you realize how haunted this town is, right? Gerald, for a moment, it's as if Michael's word has tapped something deep inside him. Haunted? What do you mean? Excuse me. Michael. Oh, great. Should have brought a glass of water. Oh man, this town's like the Bermuda Triangle of Appalachia. The fractures of reality here are so deep, you just never know what kind of dark forces might leak through into your world. This house in particular. That's why you came here, right? I could only figure that you came here for inspiration. Gerald, deeply confused. Well, I guess I did. But, Michael, also, I guess since your parents are from here, I guess that had something to do with it. Gerald, what? How in the hell did you... Michael, I wonder what kind of stories they have to tell, being from old Mossy Rock and all. It's like the influence hasn't spread as thickly to this area. The new development and all. My parents are from old Mossy Rock. Furbin's parents too. I guess it just gets too much. So we moved to where the corruption isn't as bad. Oh, Linda, her and her sister both. They are from old Mossy Rock. Typo. Sorry. Gerald, wait a minute. You gotta tell me, how did you know? Furbin emerges from the hall, his eyes more alive now, with some fear. Furbin, Michael, we gotta go, man. This whole house is pretty rotten with taint. My dancing powers, they're just not enough. Michael, oddly chipper about the bad news, as if he just got good news. Oh, how about that, huh? Collecting up his materials and putting them under his arm. Well, I think we both better get out of here. Totally swell to meet you, though, Mr. Muro. A real honor to meet a great author such as yourself. Michael and Furbin both hurriedly make their way out of the basement and up the stairs, leaving Gerald behind, standing, watching after them, wrecked with befuddlement. Shot from behind his head as he slowly turns, his expression heavy with confusion. He starts back toward his room. Shot as he enters his room, slowly shuffling up to his window, coming to stand before the panes. Close-up shot of Gerald's face. Shot of deep in the woods, as deep, ominous music begins and the woods fade to black. Perhaps a morbid abstract painting overlay or demonic sludge face, provided by moi. Gerald sits on his bed, staring down at his hands, deep in brooding thought as a knocking at his door disturbs him. What is it? Gerald, what is it? Lincoln, taking this as an invitation, opening the door and stepping in with the laptop. Okay, man, check it out. This is my new thing. I'm gonna get Renfield Flesh Ripper to sell this like hotcakes. He sits down on the bed next to Gerald, starting the media player, which starts to play his horrible rap music. If Gerald was confused before, he's on a whole new level of confusion now. His face twists up in apparent disgust. Lincoln, all the while, keeps glancing up at Gerald, awaiting his reaction, obviously expecting to see amazement in his friend's eyes. Give the music about 15 seconds so the stupid lyrics can be soaked up by viewers. Parentheses. These are parentheses. Gerald. What the heck is this? Lincoln. It's me. It's my rap music. I got it figured out. It came to me last night from that Lunchtime Larry character on TV. I'm gonna call it MC Link. Oh man, I have to start shopping this to record labels now. Gerald, stammering with confusion. But what the... Why would you think to even... Lincoln's cell phone buzzes and he reaches into his pocket, unveiling the phone. He looks at the display, not recognizing the number. He dubiously answers. Lincoln. Hello? Here's my phone. I got an actual prop handy. Hello? Yes, I'm Lincoln Cabretti. Yes, the agent of Gerald Murrow waves his hand to Gerald to keep quiet. Gerald clicks off the music. Oh, really? Really? Very interesting. Yes, of course I've heard of it. No, I actually don't watch too many films. I'm more of a reader. Wow. Well, it's so funny you should ask. I had an offer forwarded to me for the film rights just a few days back. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be very professional of me to share the name of the company, so I better not. But they're pretty well known. No, Gerald didn't want to just go with the first offer on the table. Yeah, well, he's an artist, you know? He's got a lot of emotion involved in his work, but he needs me to handle the business aspects of things. Exactly. Okay. Alright, I'll tell you what. You've got my email, of course, right? If you found me on the website, it's right there. Cool. Okay, tell you what. I'm going to forward the info to Gerald. And in the meantime, you can lay out the fine details of the proposal so it'll be ready for me and him to look over after I've talked up the idea to him. Yeah, no, definitely. No, I feel good about this. To be frank, I hate this thing. I don't want to put in the code. Oh, God, if it's not my cat, it's my cell phone. Sorry. To be frank, I'm really happy we didn't bite at the first offer. I'd call that Providence. Absolutely. Yes, I'll be in touch. All right. Goodbye. Click. Wasn't trying to turn you on. I hate these two hands. Lincoln turns off his phone and yeah, I know you're charging. Thank you. Lincoln turns off his phone and beams with his hitherto contained excitement. Lincoln, dude, you just got an offer for the film rights to Riders of the Storm. Oh man, I better hold off on MC Link. This is it, man. You're about to be huge. Gerald, the news is breaking him out of his funk. Are you kidding? Who made the offer? Lincoln, I've never heard of him before, but I think he said the company was called Troma or something. Sounded really professional. These guys must be huge. Gerald wilts, though he is not necessarily unhappy by this revelation. Gerald, better just calm down right now. They do some great movies, but they're not top shelf stuff. They do low-budget splatter fests. This visibly stuns and takes the wind out of Lincoln's sails. Lincoln. But what? But the guy just said, are you sure? He sounded like Gerald. Hey, don't let the news burst your bubble. I'm excited. Just here we see Gerald's deep sadness etch his expression just a bit as he hangs his head. I'm just not as excited as I thought I would be there for a moment. Lincoln sees his friend's disappointment. Ah, Jer. I'm sorry, man. I just... When the guy said, Gerald, holding up a hand to still Lincoln's words, really, Link, I appreciate it. It was just a weird night. My thoughts are out of order. That visit from those two weirdos just now. I need to get my head together. Lincoln, yeah, I guess my head's pretty cloudy right now too. Last night was strange. I had a dream I was doing yoga with that Linda chick. Isn't that weird? Gerald, guess we both need to get our brains worked out. Lincoln, what do you want to do? I know you're not trying to write now, right? Gerald, let's go on a walk. Get a feel for the place. Lincoln, where do you want to go? Where do you want to walk to? Downward shot of Gerald's face as he arcs his head up, sobriety and determination washing over his face. Gerald, through the woods. Let's go check out old Mossy Rock. Crossfade, the downward pan of the forest as Gerald and Lincoln, in the distance, walk toward the camera. Moving shot as they walk and talk. Gerald, so you're really serious about this next great white rapper thing, huh? Lincoln, in the zone. Oh man, it was so vivid in my head. The order, like a sign from some other world, telling me I've got to just drop everything and start making rap music. Gerald, sounds ridiculous. Lincoln, what? Oh, give me a break, man. I believed in you when you said you were going to become a great novelist. Gerald, true. You were pretty much the only one around me that believed in me at all. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am. I won't forget that, man, ever. Lincoln, cool. Gerald, okay, do the white rapper thing. Go for it. You know you'll have my support. Gerald stops in his tracks, a sudden troubled look, like a frightened animal. Washes over his face. Lincoln notices and stops with him. Lincoln, what is it? Gerald, staring ahead, nodding to indicate. There. A pan-up shot from behind their heads at a looming houses seen just barely past the edge of the woods. There's a supremely ominous nature about them. Probably stressed by the music all edited. Lincoln, old Mossy Rock? Gerald, of course. Must be. Lincoln, well, want to keep going, or are you feeling sick? Lincoln breaks off, suddenly gagging as he falls to his knees. From over his shoulder, we can see that blood is spattering to the earth, rock slash a tree stump, or either one, as he coughs, vomits blood. Gerald, Link, what is it, man? What is it, man? Are you all right? Gerald puts a hand on Lincoln's shoulder, but Lincoln swats it away, coughing and sputtering a few more times before he stands to his feet. Gerald takes a few steps back as Lincoln breathes heavy and collects himself. A shot of the blood spatter at his feet. Return to their faces, perhaps a little closer. Slow zoom on Lincoln's faces as some warped understanding comes to Lincoln. Eyes widen as he speaks, almost in awe. Lincoln, I just puked blood. Gerald, jeez, are you all right? Let's get back home. Lincoln, still waving his gesture away. No, let's just keep moving. It's nothing. Lincoln starts forward a few paces when his eyes widen and face slackens with an enigmatic horror. He sputters another mouthful of blood and falls to the earth unconscious. Don't think I pointed out, it's almost as if he sees something terrible. My eyes help me remember that. I gotta be as if I'm seeing something god-awful. We don't know what it is. Overhead shot, zooming out, as if all possible. Wait. Overhead shot, zooming out, if at all possible. Cameraman on tree branch. Slow zoom, maybe. As Gerald fusses over Lincoln, shaking him and asking if he's okay. Fade to white. Lincoln is in a room with a red filter, the same where Julie summoned the demon from the symbol, vomiting blood. He begins to puke up his intestines. If I can make this effect look good, I will be the man. I'll make it look okay. And realizes the intestine cord is emanating from the belly like an umbilical cord of the skeleton. Hand up, following the intestine to belly of skeleton and up to skeleton face. Skeleton laughs dismally. Transition to close-up of lunchtime Larry. Looming overhead as Lincoln coughs up the remainder of intestine. Shot of intestine slithering away into the shadows. Lunchtime Larry. You disgust me. Your white rapper antics are disgraceful. You need more lyrics about stealing drugs from your parents and terrorizing your girlfriend. Lincoln, close up also. But my parents don't do drugs, and I don't have a girlfriend. How am I supposed to? Lunchtime, Larry. Silence! If you fail me, if you fail to bring the Master's will forth through your white wrapper flavor, your life will truly be meaningless, and there will be no further excuses to stay alive. At which point I will come for you, and I will kill you. Lincoln, agitated, upset, in a daze. Aren't there other white rappers out there? I was doing just fine. I was doing fine just making a living off of my friends' talents. Why do I need to make anything just to have a reason to live? Why kill me? Lunchtime Larry, in a deep, demonic voice. I feed on the flesh and derive power from the... on the blood... Typo, sorry. And derive power from the flesh of... I'm sorry, that got butchered. I feed on the blood and derive power from the flesh of the creatively impotent. Create rap beats and rhymes that totally slam, or it's going to be lunchtime for Larry. Lincoln, no! Fade to white. Fade in from white to reveal Gerald typing. His face shows his perturbation. What is he writing? He is unsure, but he's writing it all the same. A knock at the door. Gerald says, "Come in," and a disheveled Lincoln cracks the door and pushes a bleary-eyed face through. Let me make sure I'm actually recording all this. Yeah, 22 minutes. Okay. And a bleary-eyed Lincoln. And a bleary-eyed... I'm tired. Oh my god. Hey, we're almost 2/3. Okay. Lincoln. Hey man, what happened? Weren't we just walking in the woods? Gerald, still focused on his laptop. Yeah, then you puked blood. You said you were fine. You stopped puking blood and all, but you got all weird. Are you on anything? Are you on anything? Lincoln, shaking his head. Besides some liquor I scrounged up, nothing that ought to be making me puke blood. Must have just been one of those things, huh? I don't know. It didn't seem like alcohol. You went all weird, stumbling your way back. I had to lead you the whole way and keep you from humping trees all the way. You were trying to rap, bust rhymes, you know? Telling the trees how you were going to be the next big deal. How even for a white boy you had the flavor and all that. Lincoln, that's right, the rap project. Lunchtime Larry commanded me to do better. Later I'll need to borrow your computer while you're not writing. How's it coming, by the way? Now a shot from over Lincoln's shoulder with Gerald in the background turning a troubled expression toward his friend. Gerald, dude, I've written nearly a quarter of a novel here. I'm on fire, and I don't know why. It's like my fingers are just moving on their own. It doesn't even feel like I'm making it up. I hardly even know what I hardly even knew what I was going to write just yesterday. Lincoln, snapping out of his funk fractionally. That's awesome. That's gotta be record time, man. Oh man, keep it up. The publisher is going to be thrilled. It's a follow-up to Writers, right? Gerald, unsure himself. I really don't know. I can't really tell what it is, to be perfectly honest. But it's a mind job, man. It's really out there. I'm not convinced that I'm the one writing this. Lincoln, waving him off carelessly. Don't worry about it, bro. Just keep writing. The publisher can take it or leave it. I'm sure it's dynamite. Gerald, confused by Lincoln's abrupt agreeability. Huh? What do you mean? Lincoln, waving his hands to exaggerate his mind's churning creativity. Man, I have these slamming rhymes going through my head, and they're telling me not to let the man hold down any creative process, mine or yours. Whatever it is, as long as it's true, that's what matters in the great scheme of things. Gerald, okay. Lincoln, word. Oh, I almost forgot. Your fan club is waiting out there for you. Gerald, my what? Lincoln, you know, your fan club, those weird geeky kids. The Mike dude says he has something important to tell you. Probably wants you to sign something. I don't know. Want me to tell him to come back later? Gerald, no, it's fine. But can you send him in here? I can take a short break, but I'm pretty plugged in here. Lincoln, yeah, that's fine. Lincoln steps out. A moment passes as Lincoln looks over his work, still in a confused haze at the almost supernatural progress. Michael appears in the door, smile beaming. Michael, hey man, can we come in? Gerald, sure man, what's up? Michael and Fervin step inside and make themselves comfortable. Are sitting on the bed next to him. Gerald does all his work on his bed, by the way. We have no furniture in the room down there. It's a bed, so it's going to be just He's just gonna be snuggled up on the bed with his laptop. That's how Gerald, the character Gerald, works. Michael, I thought it was something that I thought I should tell you about this place you're living. Gerald, oh, what is that? Michael has an absurdly giddy, happy way of detailing the macabre rumor. Michael, well, you know, with this this what? Town. Another typo. Good one, Lee. Well, you know, with this town being at the heart of being the heart of a really fragile, cracked dimensional barrier, a lot of the believers that worship the dark have tried harder to widen the cracks, while the worshippers of the light try to seal them off. You know, keep all those nasty things from the other dimension from leaking in here. Gerald, weirded out but oddly intrigued. Yeah, that. Michael, well, I can't believe it slipped my mind, but you know, the investors and owners of the companies that popped up to bring in the new jobs, well, they're all from old Mossy Rock, and the story goes that they were just facilitating the population swell from other dark followers that wanted to help corrode the barrier. Gerald, becoming troubled because as crazy as it sounds, he believes it. What do you mean? Michael, you know, other cultists wanted to live here, but they needed places to live. But the rumor is that on each plot for each house, there was a sacrifice of an outsider made. I heard a few years back how they were abducting people from other towns and that they were sacrificed and buried, one for each plot, in the earth before the house was erected. Gerald, are you trying to tell me that there's a body of a human sacrifice buried under this house? Michael, giddy. Crazy, isn't it? I totally forgot about the stories. Guess I just didn't find it very interesting at the time. But I think my aunt and uncle helped with securing the sacrifices. Oh, and I heard something recently that they were using the spirit realm to summon those with bloodlines attached to this town. Gerald, almost getting up from his seat. What? Michael, I know, right? Just thought I should run that by you. I heard how your parents came from old Mossy Rock, just like Julia and Linda came from there. Most of the people they summon back, they'll probably want to use to help widen the cracks, you know? And I guess in other cases, they may just make more blood sacrifices, if they can't be used for anything else. Gerald, rising from his seat now, composing himself, but visibly troubled. They're trying to open this door or something for some bad stuff to get in? Michael, basically, I figured they probably didn't tell you when you moved in here. I'm just telling you because I love your work, and you seem like a pretty cool guy. If they want to make you a blood sacrifice, I'd be pretty bummed out about that. Hey, what are you writing there? Gerald, face slack, eyes wide, shifting from one side, staring at the floor as his mind races, finding some dreadful clarity. I'm writing about things coming up from below. Michael, cool. I guess you're feeling the curse yourself. Hope it works out for you. Hey, I gotta hit the restroom. I drank my weight in soda earlier, trying to get my power up, but I want to tell you about the blue girl when I get back. Gerald. Yeah, sure. Michael steps out. Furbin has been standing to the side quietly this whole time, his expression slack. A few seconds of awkward staring after Michael has stepped out. Then he looks to make sure they're alone and steps closer to Gerald, almost conspiratorially. Conspiratorially, that's a hard word. Furbin. Hey man, seems you're taking this all kind of hard. I don't think Michael realizes how crazy it sounds to people not from here. Gerald, laughing ironically. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Furbin. The corruption is really thick in this place. Whatever is trying to get through is mighty strong. But I want you to know, I've gotten over my fear. And if you want, I'll dance the spell of protection again. You know, to reinforce its effect. Gerald. No, man. That's okay. I'll handle this. Furbin. Sure. But the offer will remain on the table. You know what I mean. He leans in closer. Hey. I just wanted to tell you also that, well, it's good to have another non-white around here. I get really tired of people looking at me like I'm weird just because I'm not some pasty white boy. Gerald, visibly relaxing, chuckling / scoffing slightly with the disarming humor he finds in the statement. Sure. I'm sure that's why they treat you like you're weird. Cut to shot from within the cabinet as it opens, shedding light on the bottle Lincoln, looking more addled and addicted, reaches for the mysteriously refilled bottle like his sole sustenance, takes it out. Cut to shot from in the kitchen as he untwists the top and takes several long gulps. Cuts back to Gerald's room as Michael steps in, fervent, alarmed, stepping away from Gerald as if caught. Michael, wiping his hands dry on his shirt. So, you want to hear about the blue girl? Gerald, throwing up his hands and taking a seat. Sure, why not? Michael, taking a seat on the bed beside Gerald. Well, you know, some of the things that try to get in from other worlds are really bad, and I try to stay away from them. Some things are really good, and seem to be operating to make sure that the bad things don't get out. But there are some things whose purpose, if they have one, is totally enigmatic. The blue girl is one that just made her presence known, and I got to meet her. I'll never figure it out, but it sticks out in my head. Perhaps here Michael turns his head, looking into space, eyes wide and grin beaming, weirdly, comically, excessively theatrically. It will look very weird, funny, but we'll make it all intriguing for contrast. We crossfade to a painting of the blue girl. Slow zoom in. Eerie music plays. Michael, voiceover. That's voiceover. I was working in this used bookstore in the next town over, Rural Park. One night after closing, the employees were having a sleepover. Basically, camping, whatever. Basically, where they just told ghost stories. They told me how in one corner of one bookshelf there, at night, if you pulled out the books, you could look into this window. You could look into this window, into this dark space, like a rip in our reality. Because there should have been should have only been books from the other side there, and the blue girl would just be standing there, staring at you with these orange eyes, that she'd tell you things, show you things without really saying anything, without making any kind of gestures or anything. They're telling me about her, and I ask if we can check. They shrug and say, "Why not?" They say there's no way to be sure when she'll appear and when she won't, and they're obviously not thinking it'll happen. Excuse me. But they pull the books away, and there she is, like I'm looking at you right now, clear as day. A girl about 2 feet high, perfectly framed by the shelf. Her body seems to be made of glowing blue parchments, like electric papier-mâché, for her face in what seems the shape of a dress. Like a child, but her eyes were so full of this cosmic wisdom. They were narrow, glowing orange. I didn't feel any fear, and I found myself just kneeling down there before her to look into her eyes. And as soon as we locked gazes, I see this gridwork behind her, black space, with white lines crisscrossing, and in each black square is what looks like a human skull. But they're not really human. And like she feels me wondering about the anomalies, she shows me each skull, one by one, right before my eyes, like a projector. Sure enough, they're like human skulls, but each is different, and in varying degrees. They're just off. I mean, there's no human in history that I know of that ever had a skull like any of the ones I saw. When she was done rotating the demonstration, or whatever it was, she just kind of faded away. For a while afterwards, there was the black space, but then eventually that was gone too. It leaves a guy asking all kinds of questions, you know? Like, why did this being from another world, from another dimension, probably, come to visit us? Why there? And why did she want to show me, the skulls? It's weird, huh? Crossfade, back to Lincoln, taking a few final swigs of the mysterious liquid, looking satisfyingly inebriated as he twists back on the top and replaces it into the cabinet. Lincoln to himself, "Yeah, boy." Cuts back to Gerald, looking deep in thought. Michael has finished his story. Gerald. So maybe these things speaking to us, maybe they have something important to say, and just have different ways of communicating to us. Michael shrugs. Well, sure, I guess that's one way you could look at it. Oh, hey, we'd better get going. We have a road trip to make. Gerald. Road trip? Where are you going? Fervent, as they make their exit. Roanoke Valley Comic-Con. Gonna be freaking sweet. Gerald. Well, thanks, guys. Have a good trip. Gerald watches after them, sits in silence for a few moments once they've gone, deep in thought, then takes back up his laptop. Gerald. I think I really have to do this. I've got to find out. Camera pans down slowly as he types away, down below the bed to reveal a baby monitor. Crossfade to baby monitor receiver, zooming out and panning up to reveal Linda, who has been listening in a room on an upper floor. She remains expressionless, but there is some satisfaction in her eyes. Pan up is crossfade to blackness, then to a pseudo album cover for MC Link as obnoxious rap music starts. Yeah, lasting 10 seconds maybe, before crossfading to exterior face of house in daytime with 3 days later subtitled. Zoom out from Gerald's face as he types the final words of his book. His face is one of supreme elation. Gerald, this is it. This is it. Laughs joyously, maybe. He stands, takes a deep breath, stretches, then makes his way out into the living room. Cut to TV playing Lunchtime Larry. Pan to Lincoln, sprawled on futon, looking strung out, maybe muttering rhymes to himself. Gerald appears from the hallway. Gerald, Link, it's done. I'm finished. Lincoln, blearily turning his head to regard his friend. Huh? Oh, yeah, that's great. Yo, I'll call the publisher with the news. Just let me finish watching Lunchtime Larry. Cut to Linda as she sets down the baby monitor receiver. That's supposed to be Julie. Damn it. I really screwed up there. I got the okay. Cut to Julie as she sets down the baby monitor. Damn, I got all these typos. Sets down the baby monitor receiver. Takes her phone from her pocket and dials a number. I'm not using my phone again. It annoys me. Julie. Linda, he's finished it. What do you think we should do? I think we should take it. This is the only one we need. You're right. If we steal it, we can't let him live. I could kill him, but we'll let the master decide. Yeah, you come over. Get to work. You can take the rest of the day to check it out. Look it over. Tonight, I'll introduce him to the master. I'm losing myself. If he's still alive, we'll just let him do it his way, and we can see about making him join us. It shouldn't be too hard. If the master just wants his blood, well, I guess you can release it under your name. Get the master's word out to the masses, and we'll get the credit as messengers of the master's word. Oh, and I guess we can eat that Lincoln loser's flesh. Yeah, he took the other world's blood and has been practically living off the stuff. What a pushover. Sure, macaroni and cheese would be excellent. Wonderful. Okay, the door will be unlocked. See you soon. Gerald, in his room, relaxing, fulfilled, maybe humming contentedly to himself. Suddenly, he rises to his feet and makes his way back into the living room and takes a seat beside Lincoln. I'm getting really tired. Let's see how long this is going on. I gotta finish this, though. We gotta see how long this goes. We're almost at 40 minutes. That's ridiculous. 40 minutes, 4 hours, 70. Yeah, it's definitely. Yep, cool. All right, we got all the material we need. Takes a seat beside Lincoln. Gerald. So how's it going, buddy? Lincoln, addled as if drugged. Pretty slamming, yo. Lunchtime Larry says I'm getting mo gangsta, that I might be worthy. Gerald, hey man, I'm proud of you. I understand what you're going through, you know? Doing something that probably a lot of other people think you have no business doing. I remember when I told my teacher I was going to be an author, she said I should be a rapper. It's ironic, isn't it? The light conversation is interrupted as Julie appears. Linda appears. I got these names crisscrossed. It's horrible. Sorry. Maybe it should. Oh god. Sorry guys. I'm doing this. I've had a real long day. I'm trying to get this done for bed. Jeez. Light conversation is interrupted as Linda appears from around the stairway partition, lighthearted and deceitfully cheerful. Linda. Hey, Gerald, the computer upstairs is on the fritz again, and I really need to send an email to my dad. He's not doing too well. And anyway, do you think I could borrow your laptop for just a moment? Gerald. Huh? Oh, it's baby monitor. Daughter's making the noise. Gerald, huh? Oh, sure, pointing. It's right on my bed in there. Linda, thanks. Linda beams a smile and bounces off, disappearing into the hallway. Gerald turns an awkward expression on his dazed friend, shrugging. Lincoln, nodding smugly. I wonder if she'd want to be one of the dancing girls in my music video, son. Gerald, shaking his head. Word. Inside Gerald's room, Linda removes a memory stick from her pocket, inserts it into the laptop's USB port, and, glancing up frequently at the door, remaining alert, transfers the story file from the desktop. She removes the memory stick and pockets it, heading out of the room. Shot from the living room as she briskly paces past the two friends. Linda, thank you so much. Thanks again, so much. Gerald, yeah, hope things are good with your dad. Lincoln, in a painfully pitiful attempt to sound slick. Yeah, I'll see you later. Be good now. Yeah. Linda, dismissively to both. Mm-hmm. Lincoln. Oh, crap. Guess I should call the publisher now and give them the good news. Lincoln reaches into his pocket, but Gerald puts a hand on his arm, shaking his head like a parent to a child. Gerald. Actually, why don't you wait until tomorrow? Maybe when the party has gone out of your system. We have time. Lincoln. Huh? Oh, sure. Want to see what's on TV? Gerald shrugs. Why not? Lincoln. Oh, hey, you want a drink first? I know you're not a drinker, but I want you to try Gerald. No, it's fine. I'll have a drink with you. Maybe a few drinks. I just wrote like a raging crackhead for 4 days straight, and my brain is fried. And I think I need to celebrate anyway, right? Lincoln. There you go. Lincoln stands on wobbly legs, makes his way to the kitchen. Another shot from within the cabinet as Lincoln retrieves the bottle, crossfade to moving camera, following Linda into the computer room, taking a seat before the computer, plugging in the memory stick, cut to shot looking at her face from the computer's perspective so we can see her expressions as she clicks the mouse, opening the Word file, smiling devilishly. Exterior shot of house in the evening shade to indicate passing of the day. Cut to shot of Gerald and Lincoln drunk on the futon. Gerald. So, if what that Michael weirdo said is based on anything in reality, there could be a corpse buried under our feet. It seems absurd. I'm not sure I can believe it. But if the sacrifice helped open this gate, or Fisher, or whatever the heck, maybe it really was something else coming into me and making me right. I'm exhausted from it all, but I still can't feel like I wrote the story. And what's more, if it's true, how twisted up those sisters up there are. How twisted are those sisters up there anyway? I think they're from old Mossy Rock. What if there really is some weird cult there, and they're part of it? Should I be okay with that? Should I just embrace my destiny as a writer? This way? Lincoln. I don't know, man. I'm just the agent. As long as you deliver, it doesn't really matter what kind of otherworldly forces are helping you. As long as they don't sue you for stealing their stories, no big deal. Gerald. What about the blood sacrifice? To let this thing creep in, what about that? Lincoln. Oh, yeah. I guess that is pretty bogus. Holds up bottle. Want another hit? Gerald, reaching for bottle. Why not? Might as well go for broke. Probably gonna hate myself tomorrow for it. Cut to Julie, walking into the computer room. Linda turns to face her, wearing an expression of satisfaction. Julie. How's it coming? Linda. Just finished. Julie. Well, how is it? Linda. Perfect. It was definitely willed by the master. It will be perfect to spread his nightmares well beyond Mossy Rock and help break down barriers. It'll earn us great favor. What about the author? Julie. We're sticking with the original plan. I can just hear enough on the monitor to gather that he's drank some of the other world's blood. He should be primed for the influence. I'll invoke a ritual tonight and introduce him to the master. If he's still alive in the morning, then we'll know the master has uses for him here. That he's wanted to write more stories and spread the word. If not, then I guess we'll just eat what's left, if anything's left at all. At least I know if that happens, we're entitled to all of Lincoln's flesh. He probably tastes too stupid for the master anyway. Maybe take his corpse to old Mossy Rock for a book release party. Linda. My daughter's awake making noises. I hope she goes back to bed soon. She sometimes wakes up for a little bit, but she's half asleep. Linda. At least killing him will be fun. Even if I know I'll be eating the meat of a simpleton. Cut to close-up of Lincoln's face, making stupid faces and noises and laughing at himself. Cut to shot, including Gerald in the background, looking drunk, irritated, and exhausted. Gerald throwing up his arms and standing. Well, it's been real, man. I need to head to bed. I don't know what's in the booze you just got me lit up with, but it's making the alien voices in my head louder. And right now, I think I'd rather sleep through the voices. Good night. Lincoln. Yeah. Good night, Gerald. Shot of Gerald drunkenly stumbling into his room, falling over onto bed, eyes immediately closed as he begins to breathe heavy, sleeping. Camera will be placed inches from the pillow so that Gerald will enter in the background and will land with a close-up of his face. Slight zoom in about 3 seconds after he's become still, sleeping. Fade to black. Fade into reveal. Talking ghoulish face. This will be accomplished by oversaturating effects to a talking head shot of a woman. One of you women, if you would kindly just do a talking head scene, it's going to be saturated with effects that won't even recognize you. It's going to make you look ghostly. I just need you going. Thanks. Ghoul. Then a voiceover. You don't have to say anything. I'm going to edit this in. We needed a storyteller, one whose bloodline has been soaked by the other side's essence. We summoned you, and you provided the human words to capture and spread the master's will. Crossfade to skeleton. Gerald, I was a librarian. I was lonely and I answered a personal ad so I could meet a man. He took me to this place, and they killed me, only to help open the gate. One of their masters is almost through. The gate is only open enough for him to look in, to reach out his claws. But it's enough. He may try to take you. If that happens, you need to open up to the light that will use your body to pass through. It might be able to seal this gate, to free my soul. Wait, he's heard me. He knows. If he can, he'll kill you. He knows the light will use you as a vessel. Crossfade to Lunchtime Larry. People think artificial sweeteners are better for them, but it's probably healthier to just eat cane sugar. But like all things, in moderation. Crossfade back to Ghoul's face. Ghoul face, this time a close-up on the mouth. Ghoul. You will die. You will die regardless of whether you prefer cane sugar or artificial sweeteners. Cut to Gerald's face as his eyes open suddenly. His expression alarmed as a voice calls to him. Julie's voice sounds from no apparent source. Julie, voiceover. Gerald, come to the storage room. It's important. It's Lincoln. I think he's hurt. Gerald, confused, stands wearily to his feet. Stumbling out of his room, camera follows. Drunken, slow shake on camera, wobbling to stress disorientation. Gerald, as he heedlessly makes his way through the living room and into the storage room. Shot from within the storage room as he steps forward, looking down at something that makes his brow furrow. Shot of the floor where the large parchment with an occult symbol lays at his feet. No sign of Lincoln. Cut back to Gerald's confused face as Julie, with an eerily cold, wide-eyed expression, silently steps out from the shadows, or from behind boxes, raising a hand, holding a cloth. Gerald, what is this? She wraps the cloth over his face. He grabs at the cloth, his eyes beginning to flutter as the chemical overtakes him. They both descend to the floor. Julie spreads him over the symbol. She pulls a knife from where it's lain hidden in the shadows and cuts Gerald's hand, squeezing the cut palm like a lemon, letting the blood drops fall to the symbol. Close up on drops hitting the parchment. She releases the hand. Cut to shot of her standing to her feet, catching her breath. Brushing her hair out of her face, staying focused on the unconscious author at her feet, Julie. Sweet dreams, butt munch. She turns and makes her exit. Pan down as her feet walk out of sight, and we see Gerald sprawled, sleeping like a baby. Slow zoom, maybe with a slight rotation, on Gerald's unconscious face. Fade to black. Fade in from black to reveal forest, branches at night, gloomy lights from the house. Cut to shot of Gerald's face as his eyes blink open. Gerald, dazedly. What the heck? Shot of hands bursting from the parchment. We can hold the parchment vertical while arms, maybe sheathed in black garbage bags, erupt from the parchment, giving the effect that he's laying down. They wrap over his face and he immediately begins to struggle. Shots alternating between demon figure, master, which will be a ridiculous construct of garbage bags and VHS film spools, oversaturated with obscuring effects, and shots from master's perspective of Gerald fighting, close up on master's face. Master. When I'm done with you, you'll be 50 shades of red, sucker. The light will never find its way through a hack like you. You'll never close me out. My influence is too strong. I'll switch you off like a... Another shot of Gerald from Master's perspective as a bright light appears from behind and overhead. Shot of Gerald grasping the Master around the neck as a soft glow overtaking. A soft glow overtakes. More. I gotta edit. I made a lot of typos in this. Master. Really? Wait. No! Blast of light. Computer effect. Overtakes. Fade to white. Into crossfade with lunchtime Larry. Fast zoom in. No! Fade to white. Into crossfade with skeleton. Fast zoom in. Yes! Fade to white. Into crossfade with Julie. Fast zoom in. Aw, crap! Fade to white. Into crossfade with Furman, lifting his head to face camera with slack, confused expression. Fast zoom in. Huh? Fade to white. Fade in to show woods in daytime. Cut to exterior of house. Feeling of a fresh, new day. Cut to overhead shot of Gerald in bed, coming awake as if from a long, deep sleep. Eyes shifting from one side to the other at the room around him, as if unaware of where he is. Sits up slowly, rubbing his temples. It's sinking in where he is, but as if coming out of a deep fog or coma. Cut to living room, where a sober, refreshed Lincoln speaks on his phone. Gerald appears from the hallway. Gerald appears from the hallway, staying back respectfully as Lincoln finishes his conversation. Yes, I've been on to write a sequel to Riders of the Storm, but if it's too early, then that's probably for the better. I guess I can tell you now, he's expressed that he wants to take a break to try something else. A zombie story? A series? Sure, but did you say for a comic? Sure, that seems like something you'd be interested in doing. Oh? What's the title? Die and Let Live? Yeah, I like the sound of that. Clever. Yeah, just send me the synopsis. I'll show it to Gerald and see if it's something he'd be interested in doing between now and the next book. Absolutely, I'm almost sure. Here he looks at Gerald with an inquiring face and thumbs up. Gerald nods and returns a thumbs up. In fact, I can guarantee he can do this. Absolutely. We'll look it over and get back to you before the day's out. Uh-huh. Great. Bye. Take care. Lincoln, pocketing his phone. Did you get all that? Gerald. A zombie comic series? That sounds pretty cool. Lincoln, standing. Hey, this is kind of embarrassing, but I don't remember much of the past few days. I was having these horrible dreams that I was trying to become the next big white rapper. I hate rap. Guess I was celebrating a little too hard. I think I'm seriously going to lay off the booze for a bit. Focus on getting back to the guy I wanted to be before my parents convinced me that I started believing that I was lower than a worm. Gerald, rubbing forehead wearily. Probably a good plan. I must have been celebrating too hard with you, man. I don't remember much. I just have this feeling like I tried writing a story. Whatever it is, though, it must really suck. I know I can't write when I'm drinking. It's the main reason I stopped. Whenever I read what I've written after I've sobered, I realize how terrible it is. Lincoln. Just scrap it if that's the case. Their marketing team is now saying that they should wait at least a year before the next riders. So just forget everything I said about doing it ASAP. ASAP, however I'm going to say that. Just wait until you're ready. Focus on this die and let live thing. Maybe do another Unwanted Heroes. You know, Gerald. Absolutely. Hey, before we get back to work, I really think I need some fresh air. Lincoln. I hear you. What did you have in mind? Gerald. I'd like to go check out old Mossy Rock. See if I can find the house where my parents used to live. Maybe find a good place to get some coffee. We can drive there this time. I seem to recall somewhere in our bender we tried to walk there and it didn't work out too good. I can find some place to ask directions. There has to be a road that'll take us there. Lincoln. I'm game. Do you mind if I shower first? Take a shower first? I smell like a corpse about now. Gerald. The people in Old Town might not smell any better, but go ahead. I need to delete what I wrote so I know it doesn't exist. I'll just surf the net until you're ready. Lincoln. Cool. Lincoln gets up and makes his way toward the bathroom as Gerald steps back into the hall. Gerald steps into his room and opens his laptop. A shot of him dragging the offending word file to the recycle bin icon, then clearing the bin. Maybe a long, slow, and sexy shower scene of Lincoln showering, soaping down his throbbing pectoral muscles. Just kidding, but maybe I'll insert a shot of me from neck up, singing in the shower for a comical time transition segment to naturally transition to the next scene. Lincoln steps into Gerald's room, dressed and damp from the sexy shower scene. Gerald is focused on his laptop screen. The shot is from behind the laptop, so we can't see the screen. Lincoln. Already whenever you are, Maestro. Gerald. Hey man, I was just checking to see if there were any new reviews on my work, and I found something I think you should see. Lincoln, stepping closer, peering at the screen. What is it? Gerald, handing the laptop to Lincoln before exiting the room. Just see for yourself. I really made some mistakes on this. Just see for yourself. I'll be waiting outside. Something like that. Lincoln, looking concerned, takes the laptop and sits atop the bed, clicking a button. We switch to a shot of Draco meat shredder or meat smoker. Draco meat smoker. Draco meat smoker. An imposter who's ripped off the Renfield Flesh River shtick. Going on with a review. Close-up of Lincoln's face, an expression of sheer offense. Lincoln, what the crap? Lincoln steps back into the living room where Gerald awaits him. Gerald looks mildly amused while Lincoln is appalled. Lincoln, pointing in the direction of the bedroom in the laptop with offending video. That little punk completely ripped off my shtick, and he can't even do it right. Gerald, placating though amused. Hey man, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, or so I've been told. Don't sweat it. You ready to go? Lincoln, resignedly, but irritated. Yeah. They walk off camera toward the stairway. Cut to a scene of the front hall before the front door, camera facing so the computer room is in the background. The doors to the computer room / office are open. Gerald and Lincoln walk past the middle ground, conversing as they approach and open the front door. Actually, I think we're going to leave the doors closed. I'll zoom in on the window pane, they're glass doors, and then when we transition the camera to inside the room to zoom in on the computer screen, it'll have the effect that it went through the glass, maybe. I'm going to try that instead, I think, so scratch that. Conversing as they approach and open the front door, exiting. Lincoln, as they walk to the door. Think we can use your star power to meet any hot Mossy women? Gerald, as they open the door and step out, door closing, cutting off the conversation. That's first assuming we meet any Mossy women that can read. Never mind that they have all their teeth. 3 seconds of silence following the closing of the door, then slow zoom toward computer room. Crossfade so camera can be positioned within the computer room, fixed within range so it can zoom all the way up to the word file icon for Gerald's thought to be, not though to be, damn it. Way up to the word file icon for Gerald's thought-to-be deleted book. Crossfade to Master laughing demonically. Slow zoom in. Crossfade to Lunchtime Larry screaming, howling insane laughter. Fade to black. Roll credits. Oh god, I'm so tired. Sorry about all my screw-ups there, folks. I really wasn't. I mean, this isn't supposed to be anything professional. It's not a professional reading. It's just so you can check it out. But okay, that went on an hour. If we have like brilliant pacing on this, that's an hour and a half. Yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect. Great. Cool. Well, I'm really excited, guys. If you actually watch this whole thing, thanks. That's amazing. I'm gonna upload it to YouTube so you can click on it. Anybody else? I don't know what else to say. I'm really tired. I'm sure there's some other notes. I obviously got to fix some of these typos in the script, and so I'll be uploading the video to YouTube so you can watch it. Wow. I don't know. I might do the typos tomorrow. It's 11:20. I'm tired. Alright. Well, I'll be in touch with you all soon. Looking forward to seeing you. God bless you all. Good night. Bye. Click. Hello. Yes. Yeah, this is Lincoln. Lincoln Cabretti. Yes. Yes, I represent Gerald Miro. Uh huh. Oh, nice. It's funny. It's funny. You should mention that. I actually got a call from another production company just about 3 days ago. Yeah, about the same thing. Naturally, it's a hit. I mean, I would have expected as much. I mean, I don't know. It still seems kind of unreal. It's definitely hitting Gerald in a big way. He's just taking it as it comes. I think he's excited about it. We actually haven't gotten back to them yet. Gerald's, I mean, he's an artist. He's real emotional, and he didn't want to jump on it, which I guess is a good thing because there's obviously more people interested, and it's his baby, and he wants the best possible outfitters to handle the property. He told me very specifically he doesn't want to just shoot it to the first person that puts an offer on the table. Now, it wouldn't be very professional of me to divulge that. I, no, I should. They're they're a great production company. I said go for it. I guess it's probably a good thing he didn't listen to me. I mean, I thought it just sounded absolutely fantastic, but I think his instincts in this case might have actually served us better. I mean, there might be better. There's obviously going to be some other choices, and he can mull over what looks good to him. Uh huh. Hold on. If you already have it written out, why don't you just email it to me? I'll look it over and then I'll talk to him. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you, but frankly, that's kind of why I'm here. He's the artist, and he's very emotional. He's real uptight about his work, and it just makes him kind of a persnickety character sometimes. So that's this is how the publishing contract happened. I mean, like I said, that's what I'm here for. Yeah, I had to talk to them. It it gets tricky sometimes. I mean, some things he doesn't want to compromise, and the same's going to go for a film adaptation. Uh huh. Yeah. Like I said, just email it to me. I will look it over. I'll talk to him, and then we can both get back to you. But I think it's best that I do the communication first. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know the other production company. They're outstanding. They've done great work. Uh huh. I've heard the name. I'm not putting any films. I don't think I've seen any of his films. I've heard it definitely. Yeah. No, I know you guys are a production company. Absolutely. Uh huh. I didn't see that one. It- it's all right. I don't watch many films. I do a lot of reading and try to get stuff sold. You know. Um. Yeah. I think it sounds great. Sam. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, just email it to me. I'll take a look at it, and we'll get back to you. I'm excited about this. I like the way this sounds. I got a good feeling about this, and I think Gerald will too. And like I said, he's real kind of uptight. He's real emotional, but I'll talk to him. And yeah, I think we got something. Yeah, yeah, he is working on the next one. I'm hoping it's going to be a follow up. Yeah, naturally. Yeah, if the movie's a hit, then you want a sequel anyway. So it's good we have the book there. I'm staying on his case. Uh, yeah, that's looking good. The publisher wants more. Yeah, yeah, we're in a good way right now, where we can actually afford to be a little picky about what kind of representation, what kind of fellow creators we want to do business with. Yeah, well, it's been great talking to you, Sam. Uh huh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll be in touch with you real soon. I'll just I'm not really doing anything today. I'll watch my email box. Looking forward to it. All right. Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye. Wow. Renfield, Flesh Ripper! Welcome back to Renfield Flesh Ripper's totally ass-ripping reviews. Today we're gonna talk about some blood-spewing filth that'll make you so sick with this brutality that you'll want to puke all over the place. Especially blood, because blood is the most brutal thing to puke. Gerald Claiborne, who did this awesome book that's called Unwanted Heroes or some such, and this other one that's also called Unwanted Heroes, he's a totally sick maniac. His butastic, blood-spewing filth will make you want to puke all over the place. But just check it out, because this disgusting, blood-puking book is called Riders of the Storm or some such, and it's totally sick. Blood-puking mania. It's got, like, skull something or other, skull-sick, blood-puking stuff. Nasty, puke-ridden ass, blood-puking awesomeness. It's just totally... Everything about this book makes me want to puke blood all over the place. Just once I got to page 40 where the guy said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've been set up," I was puking blood all over my walls. My mom came in and said, "Why are you puking blood all over the place?" And I said, "Because I'm reading Riders of the Storm and it's totally sick. It's making me puke blood all over the place. I'm not gonna have any blood left to give to the blood bank because I'm puking it everywhere. Because it's totally sick. It's sicker than Unwanted Heroes. And this was disgusting. Even Gerald Claymore's The Unknown didn't make me puke as much blood as Riders of the Storm made me puke blood. It's totally sick. Totally disgusting and awesome. Makes me want to puke blood all over the place. So go puke blood somewhere else, you blood puking maniacs. If you thought this was brutal, oh man, just wait until you get to page 61, where they all let out another roar that shook the arena. It's totally blood puking, disgusting filth. The most brutal, disgusting, blood puking freaking book that ever puked blood in your face before. It's blood puke-tastic, puke-blooding, vomitous, garbage filth, puke, disgusting brutality, so sick and brutal you're gonna kill yourself with blood puking. And then you're gonna die some more because blood puke all over your face. You're all gay and stupid. I hate you. Blood puke. Yeah, to Riders of the Storm. Tune in next week. I'm gonna talk about Corrales Ghost is totally blood puking awesome. Yeah, that's right, Riders of the Storm. Total blood-puking sickness. Make you puke blood all over the place with its sheer brutality and blood-puking radicalness. It's so sick. By page 131, where he says, "That was intense, did you just make that up? You're gonna puke blood all over your face, and then you'll eat it and puke it again." But next week, when we talk about Corrales Ghost, you're gonna puke blood all over your face and eat blood and die and puke because it's brutal and disgusting and it'll make your parents so angry they'll puke blood all over you because they hate Corrales Ghost, and that's why you should buy it, just to make them mad because they're mean to you. They don't care about you. They want to just make you go to school and learn stuff, tell you to get a job and all that crap. Don't do it. Just read stuff that makes you puke blood. It's total brutality and awesome and die and blasphemy and blood puke and Corrales Ghost and puking blood and Riders of the Storm by Gerald Claiborne. Totally puke-tastic, disgusting, awesome, puke blooding, something or other with the some such and Corrales Ghost gonna make you puke blood all over your freaking face, you stupid idiot. I hate you. Mom and Dad are gonna stop calling me names. Renfield, Flesh Ripper! Hey Caesar, good morning or good afternoon or whatever. Anyway, I thought I'd make a video example just in case if you do get around to making this video contribution. I thought I'd give you some actual like visual reference, video reference for an alternative. Anyway, I'll try to keep this short. I just want to give you an example. If you want to do this video, if you get time for it to do it, once again, I think I'm looking for just about a minute, maybe 2 minutes if you're feeling spiffy, but it might be edited down to a minute. It's only so my character's watching your video and getting mad you know, so it's going to play about 10 to 15 seconds of the intro, and then it's going to like probably cut back to a shot of my character looking at your video on screen saying he's an imposter, he's written me off, you know. And once again, you could either emulate what you've seen in the previous video of the, you know, like real over the top metal maniac, just seems like he's jacked up, going crazy, and won't shut up about the whole blood vomit. But this is the alternative. Let's see if okay, you sorry, I really need sunglasses for this. Okay, the alternative, of course, is if you decide to do like the really half-assed, you know, extra crispy version that he's an imposter, he's not doing it right at all. It'll probably be something more like, you know, you could just start off, oh hey, welcome to Draco Meat Smokers are all totally sick reviews. Hold on. There's this book. It's called Corrales Coast. It's totally sick. It'll make you puke blood, or it's totally brutal blood puking. Totally sick. Almost as sick as this album by I don't know, Crematory Digesters. Totally sick, blood puking maniac. Totally brutal. You know, you get the idea. If you did that for a minute, and you know, and you're like, okay, you sick maniacs, blood puke. Yeah.